It's crazy how I'm looking at my old videos. I thought I made a video about this memory manipulation. I don't think I actually made a video. I was making reality checks. But I'm just so thankful that I got the chance to at least continuously make videos that can depict the obvious patterns of the manipulations. They've been consistently doing the same thing. So when I make videos about this and like, okay, this is changed, this is changed, aren't you seeing the obvious manipulations that they are creating a false reality, and it's so visible because I'm making videos and it's just before even something else is changed, right? Unfortunately, what I'm about to talk about, it happened a while ago, in regard of like they try to manipulate this version of memories, and it's so sad, it's so pathetic how they try to transfer and transform things, and at the same time try to utilize somebody who's around you who's a perp to get you to accept and gaslight you into accepting something else. Let me start from the beginning. I think it's always something I need to do. I want you to call a targeted individual. A target individual is somebody who's put in this program where you are becoming a human subject and they do so much manipulations. They start recreating reality in different versions. They are making things, experiences that are not naturally happening, and then even changing your memories. And this is a technology coming from this intelligence community. They use this uh, civilians who are contracted to just gaslight you, manipulate you, and utilizing this technology onto you. And most of them you don't see. They utilize V2K, and via V2K, you can hear them degrade you, say things to you in order to break you down, and to make you be acceptive of whatever versions they've created, whatever narrations they've changed things around in order for you to accept these manipulations. Is like is no longer living off reality, but they create a distorted reality where they want this reality to be true. So what happens as a target individual? Obviously, I get the gang stalking and people around you and noise campaign. That's the typical things. But then I get something else that a lot of the other target individuals are experiencing is synthetic telepathy and V2K. That has been so much disturbing because they have been manipulating everything they can in order for me to not only identify with these manipulations that are disturbing, very pedophilia-centric, as you've heard that from others, and also changing my real-time reactions, my thoughts, but most importantly, once again, memories are always played with in order for me to accept what's happening to me and make me accept that what's happening to me is something that makes sense. I thought I made a video about this. Unfortunately, I can't find the video. I'll make sure that in my title this time, if I search for that video, I can pull it up and I don't have to make this video again. But as I'm saying that, as you know, in a lot of videos I've been saying the same thing. As I'm about to prep to talk about what they changed, how they changed it, and how they wanted me to perceive this falsified memory, I hear somebody trying to disorient me, tell me how I'm going to be changing. She's not saying that to warn me. She's saying that in order to disorient me from saying what's happening. They want me to accept and box in these falsifications of memory. I've said that in a lot of my videos I've made because this is the things they do. It is systematically done, and it's obviously what they're doing. And for me, I'm like, I will say everything. And I will sound like I'm a prophet. Not because I'm saying something magical, it's just I'm saying the obvious. These people are trying to erase the obvious, they are trying to change the obvious, and me, I just bring up the obvious, which is for them a no-no. It's something they don't want to. They want me to live in this distorted reality they've put together. There's a memory of me when I was living with a coworker at the time and roommates, and I've talked about how they changed memories of how I'm perceiving like documentary. This is actually a wholesome, and I think I made a video about it. And I'm talking about it, they already stimulated me in order to make me subscribe to this. And I can hear somebody in the hallways like, nah, hey, like try to disorient me. It's always typical. I was watching this video, this documentary, wholesome documentary, about, and it was really the story about this kid, this little girl who was like maybe 8, 9 years old, super smart, and she was navigating the world of New York. Super smart, super like like aware of things, still a child, but like very like smart. It was such a wholesome video, not video, but documentary on HBO. And I remember watching it. My hand was there. I was like smiling. Like, oh, that's so. Like, she's like, it's such a like heartwarming feeling. Like it was just. I think I made a video about it. Something that made me feel like, you know, that good feel good kind of story. That's the kind of. Like, it was so wholesome. This girl was so smart for her age. She was so aware of what's going on. She was talking about her family, how her family had to pawn these things, and she was living the New York life and still like super charming. She was like, and I remember watching that with my roommate there, and I remember watching her like smiling, looking at that. I was like, oh, this is so that's so heartwarming. It just felt so good to see that. It was a feel good type of documentary, which of course, as you can imagine, what's happening today is changing in something else. They are twisting it and making me experience some nasty pedophilia things. Now, but it doesn't end there, because this person that was working with me, was a coworker, and he was looking at it like smiling, and he was like another smile, but he was looking like, oh my gosh, she's super charming, right? I was like, yeah, I guess that's the word he used. I was like, she's just like super, like, I didn't use that word per se, but I couldn't understand what he was trying to say. She's like super outgoing. She's talking. She's like she's going to the street. Like, she's just like, oh, it's just so like wholesome. Now, of course, for now, the stimulation they're making me having that memory is disturbing. But it doesn't end just manipulating the memories, giving me sensation, stimulation that weren't there at the time. But it's also making me think, okay, but because he was a perp. He was a co-worker at the time at the place where they put me in this program. And they were like, while he was watching, that's why he was kind of looking like that, because he noticed that you were feeling like you get some reactions or something like that. And it was like, first of all, I don't know what he was experiencing or what he was apparently seeing, but I know what I was experiencing. I know that I was experiencing something that was wholesome, in the sense that it was just like such a feel-good thing. Now, I know that they can try to, what they try to do is, when they do this type of torture, is like, your employer knew they were doing these things, and that's like, no, my employer put me in a program where they're gonna manipulate me, and they're gonna defame you, like this word they say, or they're gonna what's the word, say terrible things, slander you, and do all these horrible things. And now they want me to start being acceptive of this false memory, because this person, apparently, who was a perp, he was 100% perp. He's involved in that. Now I know why he was acting certain ways. 1,000% a perp. It's like, you see the way he was looking. He was being told that you are experiencing some nasty things. Okay, well, whatever he was told was wrong, if that's true. I know what I was experiencing. It was none of these things. And you tell me how this perp was supposed to be like, to make me subscribe to this. I don't care. I know what I was experiencing. That's why you're changing my experience of that time. Can you imagine that, like, oh, you see how this person who was involved in your targeting, you see how he was looking at you? Yeah, he was looking at you because he saw that. So I was like, well, but they're just telling you. I was like, whatever this person saw, I know what I experienced. And you want me to start believing what somebody who's a perp was being told about what I was experiencing from people who do the pedophilia type of torture, and then manipulate this super wholesome video. It's a wholesome documentary on HBO. It was about like the life of this kid in New York, and it's super wholesome. And now they're changing it into some disturbing pedophilia things. That's why you hear this noise campaign. They're trying to boxing with the manipulations. That's what they do. And I'm glad that you capture these things, because as I'm trying to put things in perspective, they want to change reality. They want me to be accepting of this falsified reality. That's why I have a bunch of videos about memory manipulation. They are trying to find ways to create a false narrative, a false memory into my brain. Now, for this person, whatever was happening, I don't care about this person. All I know is that he's a perp, and if is that true that somebody was saying, oh, he saw this thing in this way. But one thing is for sure, I was like this, smiling. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so wholesome. Just like, oh, this is so, like, it's like, just like, this is like, it brought a smile on my face, because she was such a outgoing kid who just knew how to think, and now it's like something super wholesome, something that's warm-hearted, is now turning into some pedophilia. They try to, when she was dancing, like you fell in love with someone. Oh, come on. This is so disturbing. Try to create some things. Like when they say, try to even make me imagine her. But that's what they do. They go into your memory and start changing what they can. Changing how you perceive. It's so disturbing. And you hear the perps contracted to get you to accept this nastiness. Forcing you to try to accept these things. They are paid. They are incentivized to get you to accept something that is not true. And they think that's because they opened the door. I'm going to be, yeah, that's true. That's true memory. I remember feeling that. Can you imagine? This baby just dancing. It's just, wow. This is like, will feel good and not turn into like, try to create like sexual sensation and stimulations. That is how they are changing memories in my brain. Changing things that are extremely wholesome. This is like baby wholesome. And try to change into some nasty things. They want you to accept a false memory and try to be like, no, because it's so disturbing. Target individual. The reason why I make videos that are so repetitive is just to show the obvious patterns of what they do. If you go into another memory manipulation videos I made, you're gonna hear the same stories. It is it's continuously the same. Go to my first memory video. I will describe something, not in details like I'm saying right now about this specific, but just in general, what's happening. You listen to this, what I'm saying now, you'll be like, that's exactly what he said 3 years ago. Is he a genius? Did he see this coming? No, he was saying what I was expecting, what he was experiencing. And now my brain, they're like, no, then you knew that this was going to be brought. Target individual. They are trying to dumb you down into accepting something that you know is falsified. Gaslighting is done on a steroid. So these wholesome moments where they're trying to find ways to implant some kind of sensation and stimulations and then try to create this other weird narrative that I don't care about, but try to change your experience at the time, is what they've done. Continuously. Giving me sexual stimulations where there weren't any. Something that was just like, oh, you know, like when you like, oh, this is like far from anything that is even close to anything sexual. Now just forcing you to experience these things. It's disgusting. And they try to be like, you see why you were smiling like that? It's because you wanted. It's like, what? Because it was super wholesome. It was literally like, oh my gosh, a heartwarming thing. The brothers, like, I was looking at it, and this is so, that's so wholesome. Just go, oh, you see, you want. And now they're putting stimulation sensations. This is what this trash do. And like, now you're attracted. Nasty low life. But, you know, they sold to pedophiles. They're not at war. There's what you call, this is a program where they are trying to break somebody down, utilizing falsification of a lot of things, including memories. A lot of memory manipulation. They think that if they alter the memories, you're going to be accepting of these things happening to you. And then they're like, no, but your employer put you there, saw this. I was like, well, please. Oh my gosh. If that moment is perhaps the good side of me, I would say. This is a part of me that I wish that was like what was really happening most of the time, but the reality is that was just a wholesome moment. If I was, you know, because I know my imperfections and I have a lot, but trust me, that is, it has nothing to do with children, and this was a wholesome moment that they have changed into something disturbing. And I'm not even talking about, like, I mean, extremely wholesome, like, oh my gosh, like heartwarming. It's a moment that makes me looking like, oh my gosh, almost makes me seem like a super nice person. Not that I'm not a nice person, but I'm saying like It's something that would, just because it was just the way it made me feel so happy about like seeing something so wholesome, and it was none of these disturbing things that they're having to force me and make me feel, and the stupidity of how they try to make me identify with these manipulations of memories is also based on some perp though. They're like, why would he say she was charming? I was like, I don't know. Maybe he's saying that, she's like, because she's like a smart little girl, but, so young at the same time, but so aware what's going on in the world when she's so young and she's able to kind of navigate this world. It's just like super wholesome. And she was like, at one point, this is where they're adding stimulation. I think there was like, she was like this little Puerto Rican girl. And there was like a Puerto Rican thing dancing. She knew how to dance. She was like dancing. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so wholesome. And now they try to make me think when she was dancing, you felt something. Oh my gosh. And they make it sexual. No, it was such a, oh my gosh, she's so wholesome. And she knew how to dance like this, like very well. I was like, oh my gosh, this is, now it's like stimulations. That is the things that change and create perceptions that are completely disturbing. Now, why am I saying the same thing? It's because, like I said, one is they try to make me be subscriptive of things that are falsified. And my memories are one thing they've continuously done to change in order to make me accept this nasty manipulation. I can never accept things that are falsified. But with that being said, I understand it's going to be happening again. This is actually something I should have said. I should have made a video a long time before. I mean, like 2-3 months ago, whatever, either this year or last year, when they tried to change this memory. And so I think maybe it's somewhere there. Maybe I didn't search properly. But this time, this video, I'm going to properly title. As you can see, it's going to be something, she's charming and wholesome turning to false memory or something like that. That you're gonna, so when they try to bring that up, I was like, this is not the memory. Of course you'll have memory manipulation included in that, because I want to continuously show the patterns of that. It is non-stop. And the manipulation I've seen are just so disturbing. Now, as always, and I was listening to other memories, what they tell me to make me subscribe to this false memory, tell me how I'm going to be feasted, how I'm going to be tortured, how I'm going to be raped, cut in pieces. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but the reason why they're saying that is to intimidate me into accepting this false memory. That's why you hear this noise campaign. They want fear to be a key for me to accept a falsified reality, a falsified memory, a falsified. Through all my screams, through all my torture, through all my pain, I'm thankful to God that I never had to live my life trying to make somebody believe something such a falsified, so delusional, as a typical thing they do to people, but also try to turn somebody into something he's not. I can never let them live their fantasy. But one thing is for sure, is I will call out all the false memories. And for the people who put me in this program, trust me, they know when they put me in this program, what will happen. They will change me into something else I'm not, and they will gonna disorient and distort reality. That's it. Now, please do not, these people are trying to use somebody who I know is a perp to try to make me accept a false memory. I was like, I don't care what this person was hearing or experiencing. I don't care about that. But I know what I was experiencing, and it's not what I'm experiencing today, because you are manipulating my memories of what I'm experiencing. Now, is that true that that's what he was told? I don't know. Maybe he was just also watching that. I don't know. I can't speak for that. But I can speak for what I experienced, and I know that the person they try to make me look at as somebody I should should be the person who tell me how I've experienced things is a perp. So to all my target individuals, stay strong. Don't let them try to make you be something you're not and falsify reality and let you and accept this falsification of memories. This is why I keep leaving these videos, because I'm not the only one and you're not the only one going through it.